Hello and welcome to the show. I am here on Forza 6 with another silly car build. My vehicle today is the Jaguar D-type, a much requested car to take on this challenge. Now, unfortunately, my capture software has been prattling around today, and I already sort of started this and it all broke, so the car is built. The car is ready to go. The Jaguar has got a mighty engine. I mean, the standard engine is pretty good in this car. However, you can put the 6-litre V12 in here. The Ferrari Enzo engine, the most powerful engine that can be swapped into cars. Nearly 1,200 horsepower when fully built. That is a lot of power in a classic racing car. The other engine options, you can put in the 3.2-litre i6. That is, that's another one that'll get just under 1,000, about 960-ish. Or the 4.5-litre V8 that will, again, get over 900 horsepower. So, plenty of powerful engines. They are slightly lighter engines, those two. But the to be fair, the V12 does have the intercooler and the turbos on it as well, so I actually don't quite know which one will end up as lighter. But yeah, the V12 has got so much more power, or quite a lot more power. That's why I have gone for that one. And as I said, we have got twin turbos on it as well. Aero parts, naturally, unfortunately, nothing particularly interesting on here, but going to be wanting all of the handling. The downforce is going to be very much needed to try and keep this car on the road. Now, the tyres are perhaps my biggest concern with this car. While I do have race tyres on them, it's the tyre widths that are the worry. We have so much power in this car, and we only have 235 tyres all around. On the front, it's not too bad. While sort of 285 is probably about as big as you're going to normally get on cars. When you have a small, light race car such as this, 235 isn't too bad on the front. Problem is, when you have 235 on the rear, they're trying to deal with near enough 1,200 horsepower. That is a lot of power trying to get onto the road, and in this series, let's not forget, onto a wet racetrack. It's likely to be scary. It's likely to be much wheel spin in this particular car. Other things, the rest of the stuff is completely maxed out in it, of course. With handling parts, there was no option for weight reduction, as you might expect, which means it's actually not quite as light as some of the classic race cars, kind of overall. When you put in the engine, you put in the twin turbos, you put in the intercooler, you put on this roll cage and so on. While the roll cage does only add sort of 92 pounds, it adds, it still all comes together to be 2,400 pounds. No, that's not particularly heavy, but other classic race cars, like the Maserati Birdcage that has gone around these, are well under 2,000 pounds. So, yeah, I was perhaps a little surprised to see this at the weight that it is. That's not necessarily a bad thing, though. I will state that. A bit more weight can be useful for help giving that little bit more stability. So, yeah, this could be quite a good kind of overall compromise if only we had bigger tyres. I suspect is going to be the issue. But yeah, there we go. That is the Jaguar. So, to test out the Jaguar, I have brought it to the Virginia International Raceway, where it will get 5 laps to go as fast as possible. Our current leader is the Maserati Gran Turismo race car, with a time of 1:10.9. However, the Mercury Coupe did get very, very close to that last time out, and I would kind of expect the Jaguar to go faster than the Mercury, so we may see the Maserati fall on only the second episode, although that does rely on the Jaguar being controllable. And well, off the line there is much wheel spin. In fact, all the way in fifth gear it's still spinning its wheels coming up that hill. So yeah, we're definitely going to have to be quite careful when it comes to the traction out of these turns. Oh god, the understeer. It's 36 miles an hour, we're understeering a mile wide. Oh no, that puddle's going to do us in as well. Okay, right, Jaguar is, in fact, in some ways quite similar to the Mercury, as strange as that is to say. We have quite a lot of understeer at low speeds, and then an awful lot of oversteer if you so much as think of going near the throttle. through the corners. Well, I mean, I was kind of expecting the latter, but yeah, the front end just doesn't really get turned in to these corners whatsoever. Now try and be neat and tidy through there. That's actually relatively good. Through the puddle, and then just a couple more corners to go to complete this lap. How are we going to do straight? I imagine it's going to be very fast down this straight. If we can get any power down without spinning the wheels. There we go. That's the ticket, almost-ish. There we go. We're flying now. Oh no, it's bumpy. It's bumpy and scary. The bumps sort of just cause more wheel spin for the poor Jag, and yeah, that's interesting. It's surprising. You never notice the bumps when you drive, like the Gran Turismo. I never noticed how bumpy that start-finish straight is. You drive this and you find every single one of them because the car wants to burst into wheel spin or have some sort of problem along it. So, yay, that's going to be a fun thing going forward. Certainly, I think that that little bit of extra weight has not been a bad thing in this car. I would not like to take that Lotus 11 around here. I do not think that would have a good time. Oh, careful now. Oh god, more wheel spin. I do not think that would have a good time along those bumps. This is having a tough time, and it's what, like 1,200 pounds heavier-ish? I can't actually remember quite how light the 11 got. So, yeah. This is it's quick, but it's definitely. Oh no! Now you see we're twitching again down there. We're up to 100. It's only 174. Oh, there we go. Get a little bit more brakes going on down there. That wasn't actually as quick. I think the issue we have with this car is that I can't put the power down well enough out of the final turn to make the most of what power there is there. Like the Mercury was, 200 horsepower down near enough on this car, and it is a little slower in a straight line, but you could put most of the power down coming out of the final corner. This, I mean, we're having to wait until we're well after the start-finish line to even, to even think of going near to full throttle. If you go to full throttle before the start-finish line, you are spinning the wheels, and with the bumps down the straight, the chances are you're going to spin, so you've got to be really careful with the car down that section, so you can't make the most of the brutal speed that there is there, because you just got to wait for so long. That's actually, yeah, something I didn't really think about. I was sort of possibly expecting this might be a car that could get to 200 miles an hour down this straight, and it's not going to do it. It's at 184, and now we are panicking and trying to slow it down. That was a better lap time, though, from the Jaguar. Oh, no, that's not good. We're going to twitch it and spin. And it was such a good... it was a good kind of first couple of corners, but then I asked too much. We just don't have the grip for that change of direction, and that's not really giving up with oversteer as such. It was almost neutral. It completely ran out of grip from the car, and then when I tried to do something with the throttle input is when I spun, and then in trying to catch it, I twitched and put it back the wrong way. So. Yeah, that was basically neutral. Everything gave up because the car didn't have the grip to make the turn at that sort of speed. And I definitely have to say that Mercury was a nicer car through these corners. The Mercury was a lot nicer through the turns. It was a bigger, heavier car, but much easier to get it around the corners. Right, we have got one more lap. One more lap to go in this Jaguar D-type. Can I find some more time? Even after the start-finish line, I'm still fighting the car. This lap's probably not going to be it. Oh, God. Somehow we're going to stop it. Oh, God. I really now want this lap to be the fastest one I do. I doubt it will be. I think that's... was it 11.1 at previous? Oh no, we found some time. How on earth have I got? I know I did have a twitch on that last run as well. How on earth have I found a 10th and a half? I was so far gone in that braking zone. I really did think that I was going to spin that car in the braking zone, and somehow we actually got it stopped and made some time. Oh, waiting to get on the power. I wasn't as good through that middle sector though. It's just waiting to get on the power is so Oh, so it's so irritating always with these cars. We get understeer around there. Oh, I don't think I've done it. I think the other lap, while I did get some problems at the start-finish line, the rest of the lap was actually really, really good. And this time around has not been quite as good, and still had a big problem at the on the straight. Trying to put the power down. I closed the gap in a little bit. 2 relatively consistent laps towards the end there, even with the, well, ridiculous sliding that went on there. But it's not enough to beat the Mercury. That is not a result that I was expecting. Excuse me. We seem to have a flapping bit of bodywork. Why have we got... Jaguar? Why have you... I don't know what's going on there. Sure. That's a thing that's occurring, apparently. Anyway, I got distracted by my rather peculiar car. The lap time is close, but it is beaten by the Mercury. I think the Mercury is just a nicer car to drive through the turns. It has less power, yes, and this does get to a fractionally higher top speed, but the Mercury put its power down so much better out of the final corner that the speed differences between them are not very much, and the Mercury was a little bit, I think, a little bit more controllable perhaps through the turns, although they both did handle relatively similarly. Interestingly, the speed down here, we got about 180, about 84, 85-ish miles an hour, is only 20 or so miles an hour quicker than cars were getting at Brands Hatch Indy. The 250 LM got 160 at Brands Hatch. I think the Carrera GT did a similar sort of... Carrera might have been faster. And that was a tiny straight, got all the length of the straight here, but because the Jaguar was struggling so much getting power down out of that final turn, and I think the combination of bumps and hills might cause some issues as well, yeah, we might not see drastically higher top speed from the cars around this track. Speaking of top speeds though, it is now time to find out just how quickly this Jaguar will go. And that, of course, means bringing the Jaguar to the Le Mans circuit. Now, this car is expected to be fast. Probably will go fastest of all of them because, well, mighty, mighty powerful engine, pretty damn good aerodynamics on the car. Even with the... Even with kind of the default aero it's doing, it reckons it'll do 268 miles an hour, which is as fast as the 250 LM. So, we take that off. And we are potentially going to see speeds over 270, 270.1. Can we do anything with gearing? Just to give it a little bit more, maybe a little bit more, 270.7. I think that's probably going to be about what the Jaguar was going to be doing by the looks of it, yeah. Okay, we will try and get 270 miles an hour out of the D-type. Well, the bodywork stopped flapping, which is good at least. Okay, mighty Jaguar. Well, even in the dry, we can almost spin the wheels up through fourth. It's as soon as you hit any even tiny little bumps, it just wants to spin the wheels. You notice the bumps so much in these kind of cars. You notice every little one around a circuit. To be fair to the Jaguar, it could have been a lot worse. It could be a lot more of a twitchy death machine. I kind of feared it might be. It is a little bit, but that slight extra weight, I think, does help it. It doesn't become as bad as the likes of the Maserati birdcage and so on. So, yeah, I think that little bit extra weight has helped keep it vaguely tameable. Right, across those horrible bumps. Now we can fire the car on to the Le Mans straight. I'm actually quite surprised. We're seeing quite a few vehicles get to 200 miles an hour well before that corner. Not the case with the Jag. It's still very quick accelerating, but not the fastest, but it does not stop pulling. That's the impressive thing with this car, is up to 264, it's not stopped, 268, so we're past the 250 LM. 270 miles an hour. Can we get 271? Come on, one more. Yes, we can! 271 miles an hour in the Jaguar D-type. Oh god, now I've got to make the turn at 270, and we are round it. Woohoo! Oh, it kind of billows smoke. Oh crap, let's get on the brakes there. That's interesting. The tyres sort of billow smoke as we go. Oh, we might have to run back the other way. What speed does the Jaguar start billowing smoke? The speed has shaken my bodywork loose again. Yeah, okay. We're going to write 271, which is a record. So the fastest car we've had in this series with the shaky, I guess, fuel cover lid, whatever you want to call it. Alright, what speed is it that the tyres start giving off smoke? Well, we have seen cars smoking at the high speeds. It tends to be like the really silly vehicles that do it. Oh, that was a little... Yeah, there we go. About 250 miles an hour. Dear God, how can you drive at third person when you go to that speed? Everything just wibbles. 250 miles an hour plus, and we just billow smoke. Look at that. There's a huge amount of smoke coming off the tyres there. I'm not sure that's particularly safe from the D-type there. That's a lot of smoke from this car. Let's just bring it back down again, because this is a bit of a more nasty corner to go around. More nasty? I'm not sure that's very good English, but never mind. Yeah, the Jaguar D-type is a phenomenally fast car in a straight line. Interestingly, though, it's not the fastest to get to 200 miles an hour. I mean, it did get to it quickly, but it's certainly not the fastest car we've had down here. That does surprise me. It just keeps going, though. Whereas a lot of the other cars run out of steam. You know, once they get to about 230, 240, they start struggling to keep picking up speed. And this thing just doesn't. It powers through to about 260. It hits about 265, and that's it. That's kind of the limit of what the aerodynamics can do almost, and then it kind of stops. To get to that thing and pull as fast as it does is so impressive. So yeah, I just noticed that rearview mirror is a really interesting way of doing things. I was just wondering what it was when I was back here, but that's the rearview mirror kind of in the centre of the... I didn't pay any attention. I was too busy trying not to spin it at the circuit. That's a really neat little way of doing that. I like that. We got the shadow of the Flappy bodywork, but never mind. Yeah, incredibly high top speed, this car. Not the most terrifying drive around a wet circuit. It is not as terrifying as some of the other lightweight classic race cars. Not easy, certainly. The bumps and the traction are issues with the car, but that little bit more weight does make it slightly more manageable, or it does get beaten by the Mercury Coupe. Anyway, that is it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.